Update, my friend is about to ask his girlfriend to marry him. But I'm the only one who knows how unfaithful she is. Do I say anything? You did well, Opus. Hopefully Mary doesn't try to manipulate him or convince him to stay. People like Mary have a knack for that. Keep by his side and make sure he has people stand up to her with him. The more help he can get through this. Also try and have him break things off over text or in public. Mary seems like the type to react very badly. Agreed here. I was in a manipulative relationship where the GF took advantage of my inexperience and steady paycheck to feed her validation. Thankfully, my tolerance meter is quite low as it is, so this only lasted 3 months. However, the psychological damage was already done, and it took me years to fully come to terms with the situation. The part that I'm still not able to shake off is how there were plenty of friends around me at the time who just let me stay in that disaster relationship without ever once stepping in to tell me to wake up. I'm forever grateful to the real friends who did exactly that, 2 of whom were groomsmen at my wedding. Here for great friends who really care about their own. Edit. I understand the logic behind being wary of my possible bad reaction to people calling out how the girlfriend was a bad person. But I still believe that true friends don't leave you to stay in your misery. And here I'm in a similar situation like yours. Feeling a bit stupid because after 18 months of dating a master of gaslighting and victim complex, I still haven't fully recovered from that. Even if 6 years have gone by. Fuck. I'm 6 months out of a 10-year relationship like that. Stay strong, friend. I'm 10 years out of a 14-month relationship like that. Took most of those 10 years for me to slowly get back wanting to meet someone again. In my case, my ex had abusive, manipulative parents who made life hell for her. But guess what? Growing up traumatized and with manipulative parents makes some people really fucking good manipulators themselves. A lot of victims go on to cause massive damage themselves. In my case, if she hadn't started stealing from me at the end, in addition to everything else, I'm sure it would have been even harder to start to recover. Because as shitty as it was, at least it was something concrete and undeniable I could look at and say she definitely did some really wrong things and then hid it. I'm not making this up. She doesn't allow him near any other girls. But she goes out and flirts with other guys all the time, every single time. Extreme jealousy is a projection. The craziest part is how they can disconnect the reasons for their jealousy from their partner's reciprocal feelings. Anybody who goes around and flirts with random strangers is a bad partner. Who's to say he won't just cheat on me? I mean, yeah. I'm going out and flirting and cheating. But error. Brain connection missing. Apostrophe. The old we are the heroes of our own stories perception. You've got to push that self-critique down to get that level of protective over the same rules you're breaking yourself. IDK/view 200D. I chalk it more up to the it takes one to know one theory. It would never occur to me to check someone's Facebook PMs or Twitter DMs or whatever, but someone who cheated like that knows to look there. And since they don't respect them, they trample all over privacy. Yes, my past relationships, that my partners cheated on me. Well, I never had the need or want to check anything of this. One ex, we used his computer to watch shows all the time. I never went through it, even when he wasn't around, because hell, he might have writings or pictures he didn't want me to see, which I always understood, because I wouldn't want my partner to see all my cringe-worthy fan fiction I used to write in my teens, that I still had in a old laptop. But he one day out of nowhere said, you might find pics of my ex in there, and I wanted to tell you before you went through it yourself, as if he knew I was going to. Apparently, like I said, I never would have done it. He knew they were in there and didn't bother to delete them because memories. Nudes to me do not equal memories, but each to their own, I guess. He was beating it to those pictures. Nobody keeps nudes for memories. Oh, I know. I was always second place to his ex-GF. I spent way too much time trying to be #1. I learned that I shouldn't have to fight for that spot. My partner would want me and keep me as their #1 without me needing to fight or beg them. I still have issues trusting someone who says they are interested in me. I always feel like there might be someone else they would rather be with. Ouch, I feel this. I got cheated on last year and I'm definitely noticing that it is affecting how I approach relationships and making me worry that there's someone else. Yeah, it sucks. I remember not being like this. Like back in high school I thought a guy pretending to love me just to have sex with me was my lowest point. I never had sex with him because I wasn't ready. But then hi there late teens early 20s, thanks for all the anxiety and trust issues I have, I appreciate it /s. Oh, are you me? I didn't start dating till my 20s, but I remember being worried that my first boyfriend was just using me because there were so many other girls he could have gone out with instead. And then I got the guy who cheated on me. Lied. And then lied about having depression when I confronted him. He's a treat. A++ The world needs more people who are not scared to have difficult conversations. Way to be a great friend. Yeah man, it's ridiculous how many people don't do the right thing because they are afraid of confrontation. I've been dead scared confronting someone, but I still did it. It's some of the most terrifying to confront someone. It's not that bad once you've done it though. You even feel better later. Rather than feel like for not confronting the problem. Thanks for doing that. When it comes to relationships, my biggest fear isn't being cheated on, but people knowing and just feeling sorry for me. You are good people, Opus. If you or Alison are ever in London, let me know and I'll hook you up with an overpriced cocktail. Or if Op decides to visit Malaysia, let me know and I'll hook you up with any kind of overpriced beer/liquor. Or if Op is in Minnesota, I'll hook you up with some loon juice and you can pet my cats. Glad it worked out. Just make sure he uses healthy coping mechanisms. What you don't want to do is get him liquored up so that his inhibitions are lowered and he thinks it's a good idea to fight this guy or something similar. If this guy had just been blindsided by this, then I could see the danger in this. As it is, I think he'll be just fine after the supportive/vent session with brothers/gals. Anyways, kudos to Op and need for as optimally wholesome of an ending as possible. You're a good person, Opus. Keep on being good, and if you ever need anything just ask us, Op. Every bro needs a bro like you. Bro. When you can condense all the stages of grief into one intervention, you've done your job well. You gave to him a Luva free job sandwich. /r/brand sentence. You're the fucking best, Op. You handled this like a pro. Thanks for telling him. People who said to leave it. You're morons. Well done, dude. You're a fucking rockstar in this guy's life. You've saved him countless hours, money and more. You fucking good. You really see some bizarre advice when it's crowdsource. I'm always perplexed at what gets upvoted. The incel/red pill crowd often gets involved too, and it gets gross. A lot. Here's my 15-step socially detached plan for revenge that only belongs in cheap thrill movies. Or don't be a downer. 99% of interpersonal problems can be solved with simple communication and honesty. Curious, how is it that Alison had screenshots of Mary's text messages with her, Mary's ex? Plot reasons. Then he got angry at her. And even more so at the guy. This is the only thing about your post that concerns me. I found far too often that too much blame is put on the person cheated with. I have a friend, let's call him Jay, who found out his wife of 2 years was cheating. He was furious, and rightfully so. A lot of details sort of match up to your story. She was controlling. He was dependent on her, etc. After he calmed down a bit, he coldly said how he couldn't believe that someone would go after a married woman. I was taken aback a bit. Almost all of the blame, in Jay's eyes, was on the guy she was hooking up with instead of his wife. I understand being mad at both parties, but it's a dangerous road to go down when all of the anger is focused on the other person. Given that this all happened in a controlled environment with friends, I think it's just part of the process of sorting out all the emotions. It goes along with the derogatory language that was used. If something were to actually come of it in a way that affects anyone outside of that room, then it would be bad. But in a safe place with 2 friends and some alcohol to blame for the tears, There's nothing wrong with letting loose and allowing yourself to be irrational and angry and sad until you're finally able to come to grips with what is going on in your life. In fact, I would say it's much healthier than pretending like you aren't having these thoughts and feelings. Because you definitely are, even if you feel guilty about them.